Hi everyone, I'm James. Earlier this year, Google showcased Project Genie, an AI capable of generating interactive game worlds from simple prompts. Investors quickly worried that AI could make game engines like Unity obsolete, sending the company's share down more than 20% in a single day. But just a few months later, Unity has reported one of the strongest quarters in history. So what changed? Is AI becoming Unity's biggest threat, or could it actually become its biggest competitive advantage? Unity reported what CEO Matthew Bloomberg described as arguably the best quarter in the company's history as a public company. Total revenue increased 24% year-over-year. However, after divesting several non-core businesses, it's more meaningful to focus on strategic revenue. Within that business, Create, which includes Unity's game engine and subscription business, grew 5%. In contrast, Grow, Unity's advertising business, surged 63%, driven by the continued success of its AI-powered Vector platform. The company also expects to achieve GAAP profitability as early as next quarter. These are excellent results. But I don't think the most interesting story is the financial performance itself. The more important question is why the Grow business is accelerating so rapidly and whether AI is helping Unity build a more durable business. To understand why Unity's Grow business is expanding so quickly, we first need to understand what Vector actually does. At its core, Vector is an AI-powered advertising platform. Imagine you are a game developer with a $1 million advertising budget. Your goal isn't simply to attract more downloads, but to find the players most likely to install your game, stay engaged, and eventually spend money. That's where Vector comes in. Using AI, it predicts which users are most likely to respond to an advertisement. The better those predictions, the better the advertising performance. When advertisers achieve a higher return on their ad spend, they spend more on Unity's platform, driving further revenue growth. The important point is that Vector isn't simply growing because the advertising market is improving. Management argues it's growing because the AI itself is becoming better at predicting outcomes. In other words, the flywheel is simple. Better AI leads to better advertising performance, higher customer returns, increased advertising spend, and ultimately higher revenue for Unity. What's remarkable is how quickly Vector has scaled. Just 6 quarters ago, it didn't exist. Today, management says it has already surpassed a $1 billion annual revenue run rate, 2 quarters ahead of expectations. To understand Vector's long-term potential, it's worth comparing it with another AI advertising platform that many investors are familiar with, AdLovin's Axon. Today, these are the 2 leading independent AI advertising platforms in the mobile gaming ecosystem. AdLovin has already demonstrated what's possible. Last quarter, the company generated $1.9 billion in revenue, growing more than 50% year-over-year while maintaining exceptionally high profitability. Vector, by comparison, is much newer and remains mostly focused on gaming. Despite its short history, it has already surpassed $1 billion annual revenue run rate, with management reporting 23% sequential growth last quarter. But there's one important difference between the 2 platforms. AdLovin doesn't own the platform where gameplay takes place. Unity does. That raises an interesting question. If Axon has become one of the industry's leading advertising platforms without accessing to gameplay signals, what could happen if Unity successfully incorporates something its competitors don't have? The runtime advantage. So what exactly is Unity's runtime, and why does management believe it could become a meaningful differentiator? Every month, around 3 billion people play games built with Unity. Until recently, Unity wasn't using those gameplay signals to train its vectors AI models. Those signals can reveal how long people play, which games they enjoy, how engaged they are, and which players are ultimately most likely to spend money. Those insights could allow Vector to predict customer lifetime value more accurately, helping advertisers spend their budgets more efficiently. In theory, that gives Vector a richer understanding of player behavior than advertising data alone. But here's the key question. Does more data actually lead to a better AI model? The answer is not necessarily. The real value of runtime data isn't having more information. It's whether those additional signals improve Vector's ability to predict which users are most valuable to advertisers. If they do, Unity might have an edge that is difficult for competitors to replicate. But if they don't, runtime data may prove to be little more than an interesting asset. It's still too early to know the answer, but this is likely to be one of the most important developments for Unity investors to watch over the next few quarters. Ironically, AI may not reduce the need for Unity. It could increase it. If AI makes game development faster and cheaper, more games are likely to be created. That means more developers looking to acquire players, monetize their games, and optimize advertising performance. In that scenario, Unity doesn't just benefit from selling its game engine. It also benefits from a growing advertising platform powered by Vector. Management believes this creates a powerful flywheel, where more games create more advertising activity, producing more data that can further improve its AI models. When Google showcased Project Genie earlier this year, many investors feared that AI could make Unity obsolete. Today's earnings suggest the opposite might be happening. At least for now, AI appears to be strengthening Unity's fastest growing business. But the real test is still ahead. Over the next few years, we'll find out whether runtime data becomes a meaningful differentiator, or simply more data with little incremental value. That may ultimately determine whether AI becomes Unity's greatest opportunity or its greatest threat. So what do you think? Is AI enhancing Unity or disrupting it? Let me know in the comments below. Stay focused, everyone. I'll see you next time.